Hi, Jeff Munn, Creating Extraordinary Futures, and this week I want to talk about fear. I'm finding that I personally experience more fear at this time of the year than I do at other times of the year, and I find my clients experience more fear at this time of the year. For me, it's tied up in the rhythm of my business. Most people, if they are a new client, I'm oftentimes having a conversation because there's something in the coming year that they want to create for themselves that they haven't created in the past. Or we've already worked together for a year and the question is whether or not we're going to renew for another year. So this time of year, what the next year looks like is kind of coming into view. And I find the same is true for my clients. They're thinking about, what's that thing that I want to create for 2024, for example, that I wasn't able to create in 2023 or 2022 or 2021? How am I going to break that pattern? And this is where fear comes in and does some really interesting things. And I want to talk about 3 ways that fear works on us and kind of keeps us safe and small. So the first thing is that if you don't know how to do something, or if you haven't done something before, it looks scary. And your brain will create very logical seeming reasons why you shouldn't try that or why you should avoid that. For example, if you're thinking about what's a new product idea for my business, or what's an acquisition that I'm thinking about, or on any of those future facing strategic kinds of decisions that frankly, there's no way to know in advance whether it's going to work or not, you're going to tend to resist those. And what's going to happen, and what I see happen over and over again with my clients, is that there's these little crises that pop up and someone's going to need your help. And instead of saying no as a training opportunity for that person so that they can start figuring it out so that you can be thinking about the bigger picture things, you are happy to jump in. You are happy to fight that fire because you've fought that fire 100 times before. You get a rush out of it. You know it's going to work out. You're confident that it will work. You'll get your little dopamine hit and you'll move on. The problem is you're not focusing on the things that you should be focusing on. And my question to you is, how do you break that pattern? And generally speaking, people need help to break that pattern. Not just someone to point it out, but because it's going to show up again and it's going to be more devious and it's going to, oh no, this one's actually, they could not have done this without me. There's no way. Yeah, that is not the outside world operating on you. It is your interpretation and creation of the outside world in service to your need to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself from making decisions that might not work out. So that's the first way. The second way, I'll ramp into I'll throw into the general category I would call fear of failure. And so that is, if I try something, these are all related. If I try something and it doesn't work out, I'm going to feel foolish. People are going to laugh at me. My business is going to fail. Someone's going to leave. And it keeps us, again, from doing all of these uncomfortable things, this fear of failure. Like a lot of times people will tolerate mediocrity rather than fearing failure. I see this most often in founders and business owners when they're talking about their team. They really need to bring in someone new. Their CFO is not cutting it. Someone who's been with them since the beginning does not have the detailed expertise that they need. And so what they will do is they'll try to coach that person. They'll try to bring them along. They'll try to, it looks like a very caring instinct on one hand, but on the other hand, it is avoiding taking a risk because it seems like the risk of staying with the current person is smaller than the risk of going for a new person, but it's actually the opposite. Now, the third one is a little bit counterintuitive, but I see it all the time, and that is fear of success. Now, why would someone be afraid of success? So sometimes I will see this in attitudes around money. That, for example, there is some amount of money, there is some amount of prominence, visibility that is wrong, that is greedy, that is selfish, and we create all these images, right, of like, well, that person is too rich, that person is too successful, they're just selfish and greedy. And so in order to really kind of fall within my own rule set, to kind of operate within the constraints that I have, I will keep my success short of a particular level, even though that success is actually available, and even though those things that I'm making up that are on the other side of that success are things that I'm making up. Any set of rules that you can come up with, you can come up with what are called counterfactuals, right? Examples of, oh, that's actually not true for this person, or, oh, this person actually is one of the most heart-filled, caring people I know, and they happen to have created a lot of wealth. So that fear of success oftentimes is sitting on this side of a rule that you've established for yourself, that this is what it means if I cross this line, so I'm going to do anything I can to stay on this side of the line. So if you're seeing any of those come up in your world, especially at this time of the year, reach out. Let's have a conversation. I may not be able to help you. I may be able to help you in one conversation. It may be the beginning of a longer relationship. I would love to have the conversation and see what we can create together. Take care, and I'll see you soon.